But sometimes that pain just be so bad that you don't know what to do with it.
I'm speaking to the truth seekers. I'm speaking to the truth tellers.
I truly love what I do. And the truth is, you cannot tap into your power when you're afraid of everything.
I don't have to look like you. I don't have to have been through what you've been through to understand you, to understand how you're feeling. I have to be willing to listen to you.
Welcome to another episode of Living in the Light. I am Danica Carruthers, and today I'm going to share with you my thoughts on facing the shit in your life, facing the shame, the hurt, the insecurities and triggers, so that you can erase it and you can transform your painful experiences into powerful ones. I am a firm believer that everything that happens in our life happens, one, by divine design, and two, happens for a reason. Every person who is here is a soul in a body, incarnated in the earth, in the world, for specific purposes, for specific reasons, to learn specific lessons, and to have specific impact and influence. And the influence doesn't need to be on a grand scale. The influence can be within your home. It can be within your community. It can be within your neighborhood, right? But I am a firm believer that we all have a very specific purpose, and I like to call that purpose a divine purpose. And you know, the truth is that all of us are impacted with shit. All of us are impacted with shame, hurt, insecurities, and triggers. And most of this shit came in when we were a child, right? Again, I use the word shit very intentionally. For me, it is shame, hurt, insecurities, and triggers. And the experiences that we have as children often leave us traumatized or emotionally wounded. And if those areas of your life are not dealt with, if they're not faced, if they're not healed, then the shame, the hurt, the insecurities, and the things that trigger the shame, hurt, and insecurities can continue to affect you way into your adulthood. You know, I work with clients every day who deal with shit, and it has all come in from childhood experiences. And you know, often we're ashamed of shit, right? You know, have you ever, I remember I used to be constipated, y'all. I would have a problem releasing because I would never allow my body to expel shit when I needed to. I would hold it. I was so ashamed, especially when I was younger. If I had to go into a public bathroom, or if I had to go into a bathroom at work where other people could come in, I would hold it. I wouldn't allow it to come out for shame of what people were going to think about it, right? Insecure about people talking about me because I dealt with rejection issues. I dealt with issues of being criticized as a child, right? But who did holding that shit in cause a problem for? Me? Because it's a natural byproduct of the body, and you are supposed to excrete the toxicity regularly. You know, I used to get very jealous of my mom because she would go to the bathroom after every meal she would have, and I sometimes wouldn't go to the bathroom for 3 days, 4 days, right? And so we keep stuff in, we keep shit in, and what it does is it creates blockages. The shame, hurt, insecurity, and the triggers create blockages to us being able to flow in the most amazing, powerful aspect of who we are. The shit comes in and it interferes in our relationships because stuff happens in relationships that trigger a memory or an experience from childhood, and we relive it again, and it causes a disconnect in our relationships. I know about that. I had that issue. But the thing is this: if you don't face the shit, the shame, the hurt, the insecurities, and the triggers, in order to erase it and transform the painful experiences into powerful ones, then you will find that you will continue to have issues in your relationships, whether it be your professional relationships or your personal relationships. And yeah, I understand it. You know, when something really hurts us, when something really makes us feel bad or affects us emotionally or mentally, a lot of times we want to dumb down. A lot of times we want to block it out. But we all know that that doesn't work because one thing happens. It triggers memories. It triggers the memory of shame. It triggers the memory of the hurt. It triggers the memory of the insecurity, right? And we have to get to a place in our life, especially when you decide that you want something different, when you want something more, when you want to move past stuff that you have identified is limiting you from your greatness, then you have to be willing to face some stuff that could cause pain, that could cause some emotional stuff to come up. But the same way that shit is better out of your body than it is in your body, shit in the places of your mental and emotional space is better out than in. Doing the work to heal on a mental and emotional level is so worth it. You know, it's like when you begin anything that has a degree of difficulty to it, it doesn't feel comfortable in the beginning. But the more that you work it, the more that you progress through it, the more that you transcend, the better you become, the better you feel. Are you ready to feel better? And what's important about, being aware and being intentional with your feelings is whatever you feel greatly magnifies the thing that you manifest. And so healing is important. Healing is key. Healing is beneficial to you. Holding on to the stuff, holding on to the resentment, holding on to the anger, holding on to the toxic emotions and the toxic feelings. The only person that is creating a problem for is you. The only person who is affected by the pain of the shame and the hurt and the insecurities and the triggers is you. But there is an option. There is always the other side. I know I came through much hurt, much shame, much insecurities, and I was triggered all the time with stuff, y'all. And it caused me to be a really angry person when I was younger. I had a lot of anger. I had a lot of disconnect and disappointment. I had a lot of sadness on the inside. And that turned into depression for a while. For a long time I was depressed and I didn't even know that I was depressed because I was a functioning depressed person. I was a single mother, so it wasn't an option for me to lay down in the bed all day. I had to get up. But as I moved through my day, I was sad. As I moved through my day, I was angry. As I moved through my day, I had a lot of hurt. And then one day I came face to face with myself in the mirror and I didn't like what I saw looking back at me. And I decided that some work needed to be done. And so you got to face the shit. And you got to face yourself. You got to face how you're showing up in the shit. Because again, the only person that you can control the actions of is yourself. The only person that you can really change the life of is yours. And so there's no reason to feel shame when you need help. But the only way that you can move through something, especially if you don't know how to, is to ask for help. I had a person who reached out to me yesterday from Australia, and he's a dad. And he's really concerned about how he's raising his daughter because of his childhood experiences. And he admitted to me in our conversation, that he was traumatized emotionally as a child. And he is worried about continuing this cycle and affecting his daughter with his emotional toxicity. And so he decided that he wanted to work with me, right? And so I'm saying, if you are in a place right now and you identify there's some stuff that you need to move through and you don't know how to do it, ain't no shame in asking for help. We don't know how to do everything. We got to reach out for the help. I've been, working on handstands for about 3 months and I want to get better. I want to do it off of the wall. So I decided to hire a coach in order to be able to help me to perfect the thing that I've been practicing, right? And so it's time for you to face the shit, especially if you find that you're being affected in your relationships, if you find that you're not able to move forward. Because let me tell you something. Shit will affect every area of your life. Shame, hurt, insecurities, and triggers will affect every area of your life. It will affect you as a business person. It will affect you in your career. It'll affect you in your relationships, in your intimate relationships with a spouse or significant other, in your relationships with your parents, in your relationships with your children, in your relationships with friends, in your relationships with others, because you tend to be sensitive. You tend to react to everything people do because it's a trigger that triggers a memory of a pain, of a trauma. You can move through it though. You can move through it. And so I just really want to encourage you, if you are identifying that you're depressed, if you're identifying that you're angry, if you're identifying that you're super sad, if you're identifying that you're stuck and it's difficult for you to move beyond, there is the other side. There is the other side. And, this is the work that I do. So, if you want to go deeper from the soul level to really uproot all of that stuff from the soul and from the core and identify, how your wounded child is showing up in your life, then definitely reach out to me. But don't stay in a place of shit. Don't stay immersed in that. The shame, the hurt, the insecurities, and the triggers. When there is the other side, and I promise you there is the other side. How do I know? Because I'm on the other side of the shit. But you gotta face it in order to erase it. And that is possible because all things are possible, right? And so I want to encourage you to just live in your light. Do you. It doesn't matter what other people think or what other people say or what other people believe should be your life. All that matters is that every day you live in your light with the intention to become the greatest version of yourself that you were created to be. And so if you haven't done so already, I want to ask you to like, share, and follow Living in the Light so that you don't miss any other episodes. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. So tell me in the comment section what you think about this. Did you have any aha moments? Did you have any realizations? Or share your story with me. I would love to hear from you. And in the meantime, live in your light and stay tuned for the next episode.